All packed up and ready to hit the road again. This is a good little spot here at Mole Creek Caravan Park. Didn't really sleep that well, but it is a lovely little spot. Yeah, cheap, basic, did the job, surrounded by stunning scenery. Time to hit the road again and head up into the mountains and see what other adventures we can find. Headed towards Cradle Mountain. I'd really been looking forward to this day for the entire trip, and even before the trip, because Cradle Mountain is a place I've wanted to visit for many years. I knew it was going to be absolutely stunning when I got there, but I also had a little bit of an idea that the ride to get to Cradle Mountain might also be absolutely stunning, because there aren't really any bad roads in this area. I could have taken the shorter way to get there, which was still winding and twisting, but I chose to go out through the Mersey forest and then hook back around and come back to the main road over Mount Roland. And oh man, what an incredible ride it is. The scenery was absolutely incredible going up and over Mount Roland. But before I got there, I was winding through forest and farmland, past all of Tasmania's famous caves, which I would have loved to have stopped at, but again, just didn't have time to do everything on this trip. Next time I'm in Tassie, I'm going to have to check out the caves as well. But man, what an incredible ride, heading over towards Cradle Mountain. Only took a little bit over an hour to get there, and was absolutely awesome. But it was even more awesome once I got there. Well. I've had a glorious ride this morning, absolutely stunning through the mountains. Winding, twisting mountain roads as far as the eye can see. And I've ended up here at Cradle Mountain. I've always wanted to come here, and now I'm here. The weather has turned it on for me. It is cold, but it's relatively clear. It could get anything here. Could be snow, you could have mist, zero visibility, but look at that. It is absolutely stunning. Wow, this is absolutely glorious. I really can't believe how good the weather is today. When I looked at the weather app a couple of days back, I went, oh, it's going to be like overcast and misty when I come up here. But I thought, this is the day I have to do it. Could be in for anything, but this is just the way it's turning out time-wise. I've only got a few days left in Tassie. This is the day I'm doing Cradle Mountain, regardless of the weather. And oh man, lucked out. Cradle Mountain, what an absolutely magnificent part of the world. Very special place. Just surrounded by these big rocky mountains. I'm sure the camera's not making them look that high, but they are pretty high. Just the way they jut out of the water, just straight up. That's a long way up there. Whilst most of the focus of this walk is obviously on the lake and the surrounding mountains, there's so much to see at your feet here too. You look down, look into the undergrowth, so many tiny little plants, little bits of fungi, lichen, all sorts of just tiny little miniature plants. Wow. Loving all this little green furry stuff that's everywhere. It's so cool. And all of a sudden, come out of the rainforest, out of the jungle, bang, there's Cradle Mountain and Dove Lake again. There are so many different walks you can do here. I'm only just going to scratch the surface with a little wander around Dove Lake and maybe a couple of little side trails, but I really need to come back and spend a whole week or so here. There's so many trails to walk, so many sights to see. I'd like to do the overland trail from here. I think that takes quite a few days. You'd want to do that in the peak of summer, but you can still get snow, still get anything. Apparently it rains 300 days of the year here. But I've lucked out. Got here on one of the days that it's not raining. It's good to have a dry day after the past few days. Past 4 days really of being wet every day. And there's that big rock again. Just come across the stream, and up there is a nice waterfall. Well, I'm too busy watching the views, not watching where my feet are going. That is absolutely stunning. This reminds me a lot of some of the high altitude lakes around Lake Tahoe in America when I was over there. Very similar. Same but different. One minute you've got gorgeous views over the mountains and the lake and everything out in the open, and then you just step into this absolutely ancient rainforest. Just a jungle of life. This is probably one of the most visited, easily accessible walks in the whole place, and it is absolutely stunning. Far better than I was expecting. That waterfall just coming over the edge of the cliff at the top, all the way down into the valley below, into the lake. Wonder what's up there above that.
I'm not gonna, Tommy.
Well, I was going to go directly back to the car park and just get the bus down, but it's only an extra hour to do this track down to a lower car park where apparently wombat sightings are common, so I want to see a wombat. Although I'm busting for the toilet, I'm going to take an extra hour to walk back this way instead. Well, so far no wombats, but I reckon that could be wombat poo. Here, little wombat, where are you? It's probably a bit hard to see them, but there's a wombat over there feeding, and a wombat over there. Here we go. There's a few more wombats over here. There's one right next to the path there, judging by the way everyone's crowded around. This one over here is just having a feed. These are some healthy looking wombats compared to some of the ones I've seen before. One of the things I was really hoping to see at Cradle Mountain was a wombat in the wild. So that was really, really cool to see. Not just one up close, but quite a few around that area. That was awesome. Much better to see a wombat in the wild than as roadkill on the road, as I'd seen heaps of them on the trip. As expected, Cradle Mountain was absolutely amazing. The walk around Dove Lake was incredible. I could have stayed there for days, maybe even a week, just exploring and doing all the larger walks, but I had to head on. It was my second last day in Tasmania, and I had to head closer to my destination, which was the ferry at Devonport the next day. So heading off, it's time to drop down out of the mountains, wind my way through some more amazing Tasmanian scenery, dropping down in elevation and twisting through some great looking farmland country as I headed towards Penguin on the coast. Whilst on this beautiful ride, I clocked up a milestone on the bike in a beautifully scenic spot.
80,000 kilometres. That's over 5,500 on this trip so far. What a place to do it in. All the mountains up there. Absolutely glorious.
There was more twisting two-wheeled fun to be had as I wound my way through plenty more little sea roads that were absolutely glorious to ride. Take me back to Tasmania, take me back. It was awesome. With views like this, wow.
When the sign says back road, you know it's going to be good. But oh man, this is a back road that's named back road that is absolutely epic. Tiny little sea road. Look at the view! Oh my god. Thank you Google Maps, thank you.
So yeah, my destination for the night was a town called Penguin. That's right, a town called Penguin. Situated right on the north coast of Tasmania, I was headed there to camp in the caravan park right on the edge of the ocean. Soon enough, the twisting farmland roads gave way to towns and ocean views. After a massive day of adventuring, it was awesome to be reaching my final destination and camping my last night in Tasmania at the very scenic Penguin Caravan Park with another V-Strom rider actually from the group. We'd parted ways from each other at the V-Strom gathering a week earlier and reconnected on this last night in Tasmania before we were to catch the ferry out the next night. What an amazing place it was to camp. Watching the ferry actually leave on its service the day before we were due to catch it, seeing the sun set over the water. It was an absolutely beautiful way to spend my last night in Tasmania.
Yeah, Penguin. A little police box there. Interesting. And, of course, Penguin.